Southern California Democratic lawmakers had better luck at the Immigration Detention Center in Adelanto. They were allowed to tour the facility and speak with detainees. One of them is L.A. Congresswoman Sydney Kamlager-Dove, who joins us live right now. Congresswoman, thanks so much for being here. You were not allowed to take any video, so we can't see what it looked like inside. So if you could, paint us a picture. What'd you see?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex. So drove an hour and 40 minutes to Adelanto because I have the right to conduct oversight over facilities that are under our jurisdiction or get money from Congress, and also to check on constituents. And so that's what I did. I will say that we were not pushed around. We were not shoved. We were invited to get a tour of the facility. It was relatively clean, but I did have an opportunity to meet with some detainees. I could not find my constituents, one of whom is deaf and mute. They could not locate him in any of the facilities. So it is concerning to me that there are folks who have been disappeared by this government. But I was able to talk to some detainees and was concerned with what they told me.
What'd they tell you?
Well, some folks have not had meals for over 14 hours. Some have been pushed into signing papers without a translator, without a lawyer present. We've been told that many of those papers are deportation papers, and then folks have been deported. We were told that there were folks from Texas, from Florida, even from the Virgin Islands, that they are bringing people into the detention and then taking them other places and other states. Also makes it very hard for them to communicate with their family members or with representation. There are parents in there who are separated from their children. The men are in one facility, the women are in another. There are DACA recipients there. There are asylum seekers there. And when I pressed the ICE agent to verify that all of these folks had criminal records, he could not confirm that.
Well, and they've admitted that not all of them do. That part of what they're doing right now is that they call them sort of the collateral of these raids, that people are just getting caught up on them, and if they happen to be here illegally and they run into them, they'll take them and detain them. I mean, the Trump administration is admitting that.
Well, it is unfortunate because folks that they have detained are 4-year-olds, they're 7-year-olds, there are 3-year-olds, and they are U.S. citizens. I have constituents in my district who have told me they have gone to work and the workplace has been raided twice, and these individuals have been detained and they are U.S. citizens. I met with a detainee in Adelanto today who was leaving his hearing. He was seeking asylum and he was snatched up then. These are not lawful ways of trying to detain folks who have criminal background or criminal records and detaining them. And I think it is incredibly dangerous for our Los Angeles community, which is a home of immigrants. I mean, this is the largest immigrant population in the country is in California. We're the 4th largest economy in the world. We have businesses, right, that are run by, and successful businesses at that, by many in our immigrant community. And now they're afraid. They're afraid to go to work. Their employees are afraid to show up. Our economy is suffering because of this. And we are having folks who are of legal status and are U.S. citizens who are being dragged in to this dragnet, along with folks who maybe should be deported, but no one is getting due process. And that's a problem.
So, I mean, even the most hardcore Republican is not going to be a fan of the idea of a 4-year-old American citizen being detained. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how anybody could get behind that. But there are a lot of people who feel like, look, these adults who came into this country illegally, they knew the risks and they have no right to be here. And so you kind of this was a possibility when you came in here without papers. What do you say to those people?
Yeah, I think they should be talking to the contractors and the folks who own restaurants and diners, who run hotels, who are employing undocumented and seasonal workers and have been for decades, and have come to know some of these folks as their family, and ask them how their businesses are doing. I know that many of these business owners reached out to the Trump administration and said, hey, don't come after our farmers, don't come after our workers. And there seemed to have been a pause, but the White House is walking back on that policy and said they don't support that. So I say, let's look at the money. Let's look at how much this is costing and what we are getting out of it. Let's look at our restaurants and other businesses that are suffering because of these kidnappings that are happening. Let's look at the disregard for due process. If you, regardless of if you should be here or not, everyone deserves the right to have due process and to have their status taken up in court. That's all we're saying, and that's why I went to Adelanto to see if that was happening.
And if you had to, in like 1 or 2 sentences, what's your message to President Trump?
Stop doing these raids and focus on the economy that is crumbling. $880 billion cuts to Medicaid, a $45 million parade that no one showed up for, $1.3 billion lost to taxpayers because of restitutions and pardons to January 6ers. Donald Trump, please focus on our economy.
All right. Sydney Kamlager-Dove, Democratic Congresswoman, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your views. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Alex.